Anyways, okay, so I am here, and it is 10:06, and we will call this meeting to order. I will see, do we have any citizens' appearances that need to be addressed or recognized? Okay. So then the next item on the agenda would be to approve the minutes from our meeting on December 21st last year. Have everybody read the minutes? And does anybody want to make a motion to approve the minutes?
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the December 2020 meeting.
Okay, so we have one motion from Jeff.
I second the motion.
And a second from Cam. All right, so the meeting minutes from last year are approved. So now the next on the agenda, since we just got the roles of being president and vice president and such, is to do another election.
No, my apologies. We do have to re-elect officers every year. And so since we're having this meeting, we'll go ahead. You certainly can make a motion to keep it as currently slated, or if anybody wants to change it up. So it's y'all's choice on what y'all want to do.
I will make. Go ahead.
Yeah. No.
Cam, what were you going to say?
I was going to say I make a motion to nominate the same people who are there.
And I'll second that motion. Any opposed to following that?
Does it need to be more formal than that, Mindy?
No, that's fine. I think we can. I mean, Cammie, you correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we can just make a motion to keep the slate as currently slated. So.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so that will leave myself as president, and then Javier as vice president, and Cam as, what are you? Secretary. There it is. Sorry. Okay. So the next thing on the agenda would be the adoption and ratifying the actions of us, the board and president, from last year's foundation meeting, which was nothing but electing ourselves.
So I did, whoever wants to make the motion, if you want to make a motion, I did put the motion in the chat so that way you can read it. So if anyone wants to make a motion, you can just read that last chat I put in there.
So I make a motion that the acts of the board of directors, president, and officers of the foundation, as reflected by the records of the foundation, done and performed in 2020, be and the same are hereby ratified, approved, and confirmed.
I will second that.
So then all in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. So none opposed. So, okay. So motion carries.
Okay, yes. Motion carries. All right. So then on to the real business, which is consider and authorize the president to negotiate and execute a purchase and sale agreement and any and all necessary agreements and instruments related thereto with the city of Coppell for the purchase of lot 3R, block D of the Old Town Addition, approximately 0.196 acres of land, for the resale of such property to Gary and Michelle Kramer for the development of a retail store and residence.
Okay, so I hope you all had time to read the memo that I put in, but I'm going to run through a quick presentation so you have a visualization of what I'm talking about. So we are talking about Old Town Coppell, and so you can see where the red star is on this map in front of you. That is where their current Let It Shine business is located, which is on Houston Street, 529 Houston Street. They've been in there for a number of years, and they've just simply outgrown their space, and they really want to have enough room to meet their current demands, plus grow their space a little more. So next slide, Julian. So basically what they are, if you haven't been in there, it is a women's boutique today. And again, they're located at 529. They're looking to expand, and they want to add men's clothing, a men's clothing line. I think they have some men's clothing there today, but they want to add actual men's clothing lines. And so since they've outgrown their current space, they need a new location and have to get a new location, but they really want to remain in Old Town Coppell. So they did approach the city with an interest to buy a new building or to build a new building, which would require them to buy a new lot. And the lot they're interested in is the one that the city owns at 755 West Main Street. So next slide, Julian. So this is, I'm going to show you two maps. This is just so you get a clearer picture without the aerial behind it. But the red star is where they're currently located, and the green star is the lot that the city owns that they're interested in buying, and that's 755 West Main. Next slide, please. And now here's the aerial so you can see it a little more clear. Jeff mentioned that he went down to look at the site, and so I said it is confusing. Some people, when they look at it, they think that it's all of the vacant space that exists today in between the two buildings, but really the only lot the city owns is that 755, which is the northern lot. So it's a short distance for them to move, but they are interested in moving, purchasing that lot and moving there. So next slide, please. So I'm just going to give you a little history about this. So once upon a time, this entire area, or that entire area in Old Town Coppell, were the Carter Crowley soccer fields. When Mr. Carter was ready to get rid of the land, he sold it to the city, and it was used for the soccer fields. But we had numerous offers by industrial developers to buy that land to build more industrial. And the city refused every single one of those offers because they did have a vision for this walkable, pedestrian-friendly, mixed-use development. And so in 2013, the city did enter into a development agreement with Main Street Coppell, so that they could develop the lots for retail, restaurant, office, and residential uses. So what's on the ground out there today was all developed with our partner, the Main Street Coppell Group. On November 13th of 2018, the city did pay $335,000 to Main Street Coppell to terminate all their rights, titles, and interest in and options to purchase any of the remaining real property. So for those that were on the foundation back then, they know that Main Street Coppell came in and bought large chunks of land, but they didn't buy everything outright. They were buying, after they got done doing the residential and some of the commercial, then they were buying it one lot at a time. So they still had two lots remaining, which I'll show you on the next slide, but they still had two lots remaining. And but they had the first right of refusal on those lots. And the city went back to him and said, we'll pay you to buy those rights back to you so that we keep ownership of the lots and can sell them off ourselves. So next slide, please. And so at that time, those two lots did remain. There is one on Houston Street. It's the pad site next to Twisted Root, and then 755 West Main Street. So the 446 Houston, which is the pad site next to Twisted Root, is about 0.346 acres. And the lot that we're talking about is 0.196 acres. So essentially, we paid $14.19 per square foot to buy back the rights to retain those lots, which means we paid approximately $121,000 for 755 West Main Street. When the when the Kramers approached us with an interest to buy this land, we went out and did an appraisal, and their appraisal came back at $171,000. So next slide, please, Julian. So that's what we're going to sell the lot to the Kramers for. So what the Kramers will build, they're looking to build approximately a 7,000 square foot, 2-story building. They'll have 3,500 square feet on the first floor for retail. And then they're going to put their personal residence on the second floor that they are building. They're installing an elevator in their developing the second floor in a manner so that if they outgrow the retail space on the ground floor, they can convert their residence into more retail space, and then they would just move their residents. Next slide, please. And this is just kind of a rendering. They still actually have to go through the planning and zoning process, but this is just a rendering of what they assume that building's going to look like and how it kind of fits in down in that area. And next slide, please. So today, up to today, City Council did take action to sell this land to the foundation, knowing that the foundation would then resell the land to the Kramers, and City Council took that action on April 27th of 2021. So today, we're before y'all to basically you're giving approval to Aaron as the president to enter into the purchase and sale agreement to buy the land from the city and then turn around and sell it to the Kramers for $171,000. It'll be a simultaneous closing, so no money ever is exchanged from the foundation. It's just a straight pass through. And that's what y'all are voting on today, is to allow him to do that. He'll sign the purchase and sale agreement. And the city has already signed our portion of the purchase and sale agreement, and then the Kramers will, and then we'll start the process of the closing. So any questions, comments, concerns?
Just a quick question. Will we get a copy of this presentation? I know a lot of it is in the other stuff you sent out, but some of it isn't.
Yeah, sure, you can. I can send you a copy of the presentation. Yeah.
Sure. It just has some other good stuff in it.
Yeah, sure. Anyone else?
If there's no other comments, do we need to vote, or we need to?
Yes, and so if you have your memo in front of you, I put in the memo the motion for taking action on this.
Okay.
If you don't have it, I can copy and paste it into the chat. So
I've got it. I, Aaron Strock, move that the president of the foundation be authorized to negotiate. I am reading the right one, right?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Be authorized to negotiate and sign agreements to purchase from the city of Coppell and sell to Michael and Gary, or Michelle and Gary Kramer, and or their assigns lot 3R, Block D of the Old Town Edition, City of Coppell, Texas, for a purchase and sales price of not less than $171,000, subject to a restriction agreement as required by the city, and that the president of the foundation, in consultation with the foundation's attorney, be authorized to sign such deeds, settlement statements, and other documents necessary for closing these transactions.
Second the motion.
All right. Any opposed? No. So the resolution passes, and you just need to let me know when I need to come sign.
Yeah, so Aaron, I'll be in touch with you soon. Our attorneys are finalizing the agreement, and so I'll be in touch with you soon to get you to come up here and sign.
Okay.
And then we'll be able to start the closing process. So.
All right.
Good to go, Aaron. You just made us $50,000.
Yeah. I do what I can for the city.
And that's it. So thank y'all. I mean, we need to adjourn, but thank y'all for, again, this is from time to time, we will have these types of meetings to handle these types of items. But they are few and far between. So I appreciate y'all meeting today to take care of this. So
anything closer for getting the land right next to Twisted Root sold?
No, not yet. We're just right now. They're working hard to get Twisted Root back open. So there's been no movement, and I think we'll have a little period now. Restaurants are really trying to get back on their feet, so we may have a little bit of a period of time, because that's really City Council's really wants to sell that pad site for another restaurant user. So
right.
We may have some time before we see anything happen. So.
All right. So any other questions from anybody? Thoughts? All right. So at 10:21, we will adjourn the meeting. Thank you, everyone.